All right, here we go. We're doing this. What's up, Profitable Stylist? Here we go this week. Bernard will be joining us momentarily, but we got to get this thing started. Should you wear hair extensions if you have damaged hair? So this is what this is the main topic for this week, and I'm gonna explain why you should wear hair extensions on damaged hair, because hair extensions is another way of repairing damaged hair. And if you watched this last week, you saw how Bernard doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to maintaining or helping hair that's hurt and damaged.
How does hair extensions help or repair damaged hair?
Because it protects it. It gives it a hug.
That's what I thought.
I'm trying to no, because we're not allowed to cuss on here. My Tourette's is over as of 10 o'clock.
So
it gives it a nice little hug, and it nurtures it, and it cradles it, and it holds it all together so it can feel happy and feel good until it grows out and the bad stuff gets cut off 6 months later.
Yes, that's how you repair damaged hair. You cut it off. And that's exactly how hair extensions helps repair damaged hair. It protects it because
Can you sit up a little higher, or are you kind of low on your chair?
Yeah, I can.
There you go.
I don't know what. I can't. Oh, I got the wrong chair. Let me get my other chair.
The wrong
so I'll just kind of go a little higher for a second. It protects from the sun because under that top layer of hair, you got extensions coming out, and it's covering most of the hair. So it's protecting from the UV. It's protecting from the sun. It's protecting from the blow dryer, the curling iron. When you put hot tools on it, it's absorbing a bunch of the heat as well. So it's dispersing the heat and elements a little bit better. I am going to swap my chair out because it's more comfortable. But why would you say extensions? Let me throw this out there, and then I'll give you your opinion. I want to give the answer first because I hate a sales pitch that takes like an hour to get to the price or forever to get to the point.
That is annoying, yeah.
Yeah, I like to get to the point first, and I'm going to say extensions can be put on damaged hair 90-something% of the time because the hair closest to your scalp is the healthiest part of the hair, no matter what. I shouldn't say no matter what. In most cases.
In most cases, yeah.
A lot of times, this grown out hair has never had color, bleach, chemicals at all, not even a hot iron. And then a little bit further from that is going to be slightly. We're swapping chairs out here. It's going to be slightly.
This is the beauty of doing things live, whether you're on stage or you're on the stream or whatever's going on, you know.
Oh yeah,
it's so funny.
This is better. Casper, come have a seat over here. And so that part of the hair nearest the scalp is what extensions attach to.
Yeah.
It attaches to. So that hair is healthy. It's healthy. It's good enough, even if it's had color or bleach once or twice. But what most people are judging is that hair way down at the ends where it's just fried. If you're wearing a black shirt and you have blonde hair, you're seeing a little pieces of hair all over you looking like you got dandruff because the ends are breaking off. The ends is not where you attach hair extensions anyway. So many times in my own salon, I've had hairdressers say, "Oh yeah, I did the consultation, but we couldn't do her hair because her hair was too damaged." Who said? I own the salon. Who said it was too damaged? Who made that decision? Who are you working for? I've told y'all so many times, yes, you can put extensions on damaged hair. Where are you connecting the extensions? To the damaged end that's falling off, and then yes, the extension falls off. So it protects
No, but you're
hair.
not doing that. You're attaching it up here.
Right, and it makes me so mad to just throw away $1,000, and that client goes right down the street anyway and gets extensions from somebody, and they get a worse technique that potentially is damaging because they're doing tension, too tight, doing it wrong, bad angle, pulling hair out. So let's quickly cover the couple of things
Do you
that I know
remember
of.
your question, or you just messed up your whole? You forgot the whole question you was going to ask earlier.
What was I going to ask?
When you was going to go swap out your chairs before somebody brought you your chair, you was going to ask me a question. You said you was going to give an answer because you hate spending an hour. Then you spent an hour getting to your point.
No, I didn't spend an hour. It's only been, I don't have my glasses on.
I'm messing with you.
It's only been 6 minutes. 6 minutes since we started. No, the answer is yes. You can put extensions in the why. And then I was going to ask you what your reasons were just to kill some time so I could go get my chair. But then RJ came in and brought me a chair. So the other thing I'm going to mention just before I forget, because people say, well, if it's 90 something percent of the time, when can you not? Well, there's some real big issues that do affect the hair nearest the scalp. And I would say after chemotherapy, somebody's losing their hair. Well, I'm not going to want to add extra weight to hair that's falling out anyway. Yeah, the extensions are going to fall out. That's a different story. Or some bad diet somebody went on and their hair is falling out of their head. Or they do have some kind of skin or scalp burns or irritations from a chemical they use. Maybe they just did just get bleach on their hair yesterday and they didn't do it right. They shampooed and scrubbed the head real well and also tried to do a level 3 or 4 to a level 10 or 12 and burn the scalp with some chemicals. Well, maybe then we're going to wait for the head to heal. Maybe the hair right near the scalp is actually overprocessed. It's rare, but it could happen. So just think about it. That's all the hair you need.
Actually, you're saying that it's rare because about 20 years ago, that was the thing. Double processed blondes and double processed lighter, to be lighter in general, was a thing. And if you're following current fashion and current hair trends, the 90s, the 90s fashion and looks is starting to come back around again, right? And a lot of people are starting to mimic that. We are starting to see, like I teach a 20 foil highlighting technique class, a hands-on 20 foil highlighting technique class. It's sold out. Every date I come up with, it's sold out. I'm having to come up with more dates constantly all the time. People are wanting highlights all the way down to their scalp again. And now I'm starting to get the precursor phone calls to, hey, do you have any on scalp bleach, or do you have any formulas for on scalp, or do you have any tips and tricks for how to lighten hair all over, or high lift tint formulas. They're coming out too warm. So people are starting with ombre, with balayage, with certain, with the beachy waves and the barrel curls. All the damage was segregated and focused from the midshaft down to the ends, because that's what the styles have been for the past few years, have all been focused, more concerned down here rather than how this up here looks. That's why shadow rooting has been popular. That's why, smoothness and sleekness has been popular. Not so much volume and fullness. But now we're going to start going into more volume, more fullness. So now a lot of that damage is going to start moving up into this area up through here. So then we have to discover what level of damage versus what level of healthiness is safe enough to be able to apply to support the hair extensions that we're going to be putting on. And then we also have to talk about what kind of hair extension. Is there a type or a technique of hair extensions that might be better or worse on damaged hair, and why? Because hair extensions, is it laying over that damaged hair, or is it wrapping around that damaged hair to protect it better? Like which type of hair extensions are we got to talk about the different types. Do
you have this 20 foil highlight technique online anywhere?
No.
Maybe on the Teachable Academy. Maybe the Profitable Stylist.
You know what? Academy. I should do a recording for it, because
that's a great idea. It
started off as a hands-on. The idea was we spend like it goes right into this too. We spend so much time foiling, and we load up 50, 100. Like nobody counts how many foils they use. The partial are like you go off the part, you come down the sides, you throw a couple in the crown, and call it a day. That's a partial foil, right? Well, there's no plan to it. You just keep highlighting, and clients keep getting their hair highlighted. And the first couple of times it looks great. You have contrast, you have definition, you have tonality. But after the third, fourth, fifth visit, they're an all over color just with foils now. And it really becomes, because you're tearing up the hair. So now you got to go into low light it. The low lights fade out really quick because the hair is messed up and you're not balancing it out properly. So I come up with a pattern that can, with just using a specific placement pattern like hair extensions, you could repeat that same pattern. You can adjust that pattern as you need to make it look new and fresh. You only need 20 foils. It's safer for the client. It's healthier for the client's hair. It's easier and more efficient for us. It's a win-win all the way around.
And now to our regularly
scheduled program, right? So because so many clients were coming in and their hair was fried to hell from bleaching, and they were like, what do? I still want to be brighter. I still want contrast. I still need something. But their hair was gotten to the point where it couldn't hold color anymore. It would flat out reject any color that we would put on.
All you had to do was repair it.
Well, that was the thing. That's why I became an expert in restorative and reparative treatments, my good man, my kind sir.
Week's video.
Right? That was last week's video. But then it really taught me how to properly do hair extensions.
A link to the video.
We should put a link because people do need to know how to restore and repair hair. And listen to your. Did you get my foil hat that I sent you?
No. What? In the mail? Did you really?
No.
Okay.
Could you imagine that would get crushed?
I did. We did just send you some pralines again yesterday.
I'm on that challenge with RJ, the 75 hard. No!
RJ told me he's doing a 75 hard program.
Oh, you devil. How am I going to resist that now?
I said, well, they don't go bad. It's almost pure sugar. He can wait 75 days.
I can't wait. We're only on day 19. I can't wait another 51 more days for that.
Let's send you a big old cup of McDonald's sweet tea also.
Man.
So I'm impressed that you're really doing no sugar. Good for you. That's hard.
It's no not sugar, that I'm doing half sugar. I can't do no sugar.
Okay.
I live on sugar. So I'm
doing
you
can't
half
do
sugar. And I've been very angry.
Finished? Are we finished with the extensions?
No. Because that's what, look, it all comes into that too, right? Like, I'm not taking in the full sugar that I should be taking in on a daily basis. I'm not having as many cookies as I should.
The word should. I would use
need.
It's poison. I don't think we need any sugar.
No, it's not. Okay, my body is damaged from not taking in sugar.
You feel like it. It's called withdrawals.
I could stop whenever I want. Okay, I don't have withdrawals.
Yeah, right. And your hair really will possibly suffer from it. Actually,
it has been suffering.
Your body gets used to something, even if it is poison. Your body gets used to it, and when you make a big change, good or bad, your body suffers for a minute before it recovers.
I'm having the cold sweats and the night terrors. I am slamming water. I am so thirsty. So that's why drinking the gallon of water is such an easy thing for me because I need something. I need something. Yeah, damn, you're sending me the sweet tea. And
sugar is addictive. There's no doubt about that. I have a hard time not eating any of it either. But
as it goes, how much hair do I need to grow out? Right? At what proportion? Like how much healthy hair do you need and how much damaged hair can you still have to support the weight of the attachment of the hair extension that you're going to be adding into it?
Different for everyone.
It's going to be different for everyone.
It is. A little, I don't know, just a little extra. I'm going to give a little lanyap here. Do you know what lanyap is?
Lanyap?
Lanyap.
Ooh, new word. Teach me. Okay, cool.
New word. Well, it's more of a southern
I don't know.
Cajun French word. It's like it's extra, a little extra. It's like a baker's dozen is number 13. They'll put that 13th donut or something in the box and call it a baker's dozen. Well, down south near Lafayette and Cajun land, we call it lanyap, a little extra. And so
cool.
I'm going to give a little lanyap in the video right here and say, because you said, how long does your hair have to be? And I was thinking to even get hair extensions. People ask that all the time. Do you have an answer for that one?
Some people say, technically speaking, you need a half an inch you need 3 inches, so if your hair grows a half an inch, you got to wait 6 months if you shaved your head or if your hair got messed up, technically speaking, yes, that's correct.
Look terrible.
But it's going to look terrible,
Right.
My answer is you need enough hair to comfortably, You need enough hair to comfortably lay over to cover up the attachment area. That's my
I
answer.
agree. I agree. And I came up with a place on the body to describe that. Because over the phone, people will call and say, "Can I get extensions? My hair might be too short." Well, these days with pictures and videos, I can have them send me a picture or a video and I can kind of evaluate over the phone. But one of the things that I kind of determined before that was popular was I said, take a little piece of hair on the top of your head and just pull your fingers and follow it to the very ends and then lay that down on the side. And where does it go to? If it touches the top of your ear, that is I want those top layers to at least touch the top of the
You
ear because
want the
that's
hair up here to be long
mhm.
enough to get to the top of the ear over
Even if
here?
they're shaved in the back,
Yeah.
it kind of covers what you just described. If
Okay.
the hair on
Okay.
top reaches the top of the ear, it's usually long enough that it will lay down. And
Okay.
we need it to lay down. And then it's still not the best length to put extensions in.
It's
It's just
not,
a
but that's
beginning
a you
point.
need a starting point somewhere. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You need a baseline
Yeah.
somewhere.
So I'll even say we can start putting extensions in when the hair on the top of your head just barely touches the top of your ear. But you're going to need so much hair. It's going to be hard to blend. It's more hair is going to make it more expensive. We're going to have to put so much in to get it to blend. You're going to have to be really good at styling, which is all this is going to make it cost even more money and more work. I am underselling this on purpose because I don't think we should, but I can and I will.
Well, that's the difference. The other thing you have to consider, okay, here is a formula to discover how, because here's a question that gets asked a lot is, my client has short hair or my client has medium length hair, long hair, whatever the length of hair is, how much hair extensions do I need to put in? And the formula is this. You have to look at how much hair density the client has, a lot or a little, and then you also have to look at the length of the hair in the current style of the client as well too. The shorter the hair is, the more hair extensions you're going to need to add to be able to blend and hide and create proper weight lines, layers, and lengths. The longer somebody's hairline is and the more layered somebody's hairstyle is, the less hair extensions you potentially may need to create whatever the effect that you're trying to go for. And if you add anything extra, that's fine. The second part to my formula is this. The shorter the client's hairstyle is, the less hair extension technique and options you have. There are certain types of hair extensions you are not going to be able to hide if the hair is too short, versus the longer the hair is. And you would need at minimum, in my opinion, at least top of the shoulders and longer to give yourself, to open yourself up to all kinds of hair extension technique options.
Which plays into what you asked earlier with the damage. What kind of extensions can you or can you not use according to the level of damage you have?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times damage has something to do with how long a person's hair is because the damage has chemically trimmed, broke off much of the hair. So they got this chemical cut, their hair's shorter, and the very first advice is don't trim their hair during the consultation. We've actually lost hair extension clients before because the hairdresser during a consultation said, let me trim your hair while you're here. They cut it, make it look so pretty, flat iron it, and the client says, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe I don't need extensions. Maybe I don't need to spend $1,200. And it's like, well, good. I'm so glad you're happy now with your hair, but I'm not happy with my income.
Let me go cry now.
Yeah. And so the hairdresser's goal was to sell extensions. They get so excited. She said she wants some. She put a deposit down. Then tomorrow she's asking her right at the end, I don't think I'm going to put that deposit, or can I get it back? My hair looks so good. She did such a good job with trimming and styling. It even looks thicker now. I'm torn right there, right? Am I not supposed to make her hair look really good so she doesn't need extensions? Or am I supposed to leave it looking ready? Because I think the extension is going to make it look even better if she can afford it. And I do like making money. I'm not going to lie. I do the right thing for clients.
I know.
But the right thing is not one right thing. There's multiple right things. She came in wanting hair extensions. So I personally don't trim blow dry style their hair during a consultation to make them look better right now because she wanted hair extensions to make her hair look better. And
I
I agree.
I guess, is it for the health of the hair they want hair extensions, or is it for the health of their mental health to be,
I know,
to
Is
feel
it not?
better about themselves, for confidence? Like it's such a, that's a
Oh,
great conundrum that you're proposing, right? Let's hear some
it
comments on
is.
that one.
Well, it's a good philosophical question.
Philosophical
I've been
question.
watching some philosophers, some modern day philosophers on YouTube, and one of the ones is like you're in a train headed down the tracks, and you see a group of people standing on the tracks, and you're not in the train, you're in the thing where you can flip the switch and turn the train to not hit the crowd of people, but there's one person on the tracks where you would flip the switch. Do you flip the switch to kill the one instead of the many? Easy thing to do from a tower, flipping a switch, and you're not part of
Oh,
it.
I'm in the
But
control tower and I
yes,
see this event happening.
right. But if you're in the train and you're going to be part of the actual act, it's a lot more
And like you
difficult
have no other
decision.
information, you just see group of
That's it.
people or
And
one
I don't want to
person.
go.
I
This
take
is a
out the
really
group.
more. It's a real morbid thing. I don't want to go too
I'm
deep into
Darwin
it.
all the way, buddy. I
But
take out the group.
that was the path of the train. So you got to make a decision, and it's hard. So with the extensions, I don't know if there's a right answer, but you have to make a decision. They wanted
Ooh, I
extensions.
see what you're going with this. I see
You
what you're saying
said,
now.
did they want it for the health of the hair? Did they want it for length and fullness and
Right.
volume?
Without the information, you
Does it
don't know what's the
matter?
right answer.
Don't ask because they asked for extensions.
Oh.
So you just put, yeah, so there's no right answer. Some people are going to say,
Mm.
well, I'm going to ask her about length and health and, and what her end goals are and help her get there no matter what the cost because I'm a good person and you're evil because you want their money. I get that people might say that about me. I'm also well off because I like the money. I have no problem saying I like the money. I like helping people. I've done so much free hair. I am not a money hungry person, but I'm a money conscious person. I am in the business to make money, and I think there's a balance. I think too many hairdressers. That's why we call this the profitable stylist.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so many hairdressers. I was just talking to one before we got on any of our lives today. She scheduled a call with me through Calendly. If you take any of our classes at the end of the class videos, you have an opportunity to schedule a 15-minute phone call with me or maybe you. I'm not sure if they have that option on your end also, but they have an
I don't know.
option to
Everybody calls
schedule.
me all the time. So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
it ends up on my calendar. I call the lady and she's complaining about another hairdresser in town charging too much for extensions, saying that their town can't handle this price and that she wanted to know what I thought about it. And I said there's no price police. It doesn't matter the town. There's just supply and demand. If if you are completely booked solid, it means people love you and the quality of your work. If you can't take any more clients, that's when you raise your prices a little so that the people that's how you get a raise. That's how you make more money. I know I'm not on damaged hair anymore, but
We got to go back to, we got to segue back
I
into
know.
it. But do you
But
want to hear RJ's comment?
yeah, of
So
course.
on your
You mean Richard?
No, RJ.
This is RJ. Okay, go ahead.
He's saying for your flip the switch here for your philosophical question,
can't
RJ
even
take out
say
the one person and keep the group because then that group can come in and it's better to have the more money from the full group than from the one person.
There you go. The more people would spend money on hair extensions.
More
Yeah.
people.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hopefully you never have to make that kind of decision, but when they post
Yeah, I know,
it to
right?
you,
It's really easy to
your
fun
heart
to
starts
laugh
beating
and make
you're like,
fun.
ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I know RJ in real life, he would say, it doesn't matter. It's not going to happen. I don't care about things that are not real until I have to actually make that decision. I'm not going to worry about it,
But people think about these kind of things,
So
and
damaged hair. I really don't have much more to say about it.
no,
Yes, you
it
can do
really
extensions on damaged
is.
hair.
It really is, but this kind of goes right into that example as well too, because how far is there a level of damage where you would say no?
Well, you said, is there certain extensions you should not put on damaged hair? I'd like to hear
And then
your
there's
opinion on
that
that.
too. So to me, I mean, now we're going to start calling out techniques, not any specific brands, but we're going to start calling out techniques, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, I don't think you should be doing any kind of braiding, any kind of tape in, or any kind of sew in on excessively damaged or very
Braiding
short
and
hair.
sewing kind of come hand in hand, and you're right, because that's going to be tension pulling kind of strong
And
on
I
the hair.
also don't like clip-ins on short
Mm,
damaged hair either, you know?
very good point.
So so what's left? The only thing that's left
There's a few.
is like eye tips or beaded or flat beaded and keratin bonds. What else is left other than that? Like it really
Well,
shrinks
when you say
your
beaded, there's beaded strands, and I don't know if other people have beaded wefts, but we have a beaded weft on stage. So beaded and almost any beaded technique other than the beads with the hand tied, because the tying is here's the difference: tension versus non-tension.
true,
That's a
true.
big part of it.
That's the
But
system options.
tape is not necessarily tension, but it's very heavy weight on a small thin section.
Okay, let me say it this way. My personal problem with tape-in is not the actual application or that quality of the hair itself. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the maintenance process of the tape-ins is what I have the problem with. It's the
gooey mess.
removal. It's not even well, yeah, I mean, take that aside. It's the physical removal of the adhesive coming off the cuticle. I don't care. It tears up the cuticle. Unless you overly saturate it so much with removing solution. But then at that point, are you dehydrating the hair? And in our example, if the hair is so damaged and thirsty to begin with, and you're dehydrating it even more, it becomes a brittle. Then how do you prevent it?
It becomes a what? A brittle?
A
brittle.
Becomes brittle,
It
yeah.
becomes a brittle.
Brittle, yeah. Brittle. Yeah.
Brittle.
Now I got cookies and pralines and all kinds of sweet snacks on my mind. You know, I'm talking about the brittle barks now.
Yeah, it does become brittle. Right. So I guess it's two things. It's too much weight. So extensions that are too heavy with too little anchor point, which hand tied would fit into both of those. It becomes tight when it's tied, but it's also too much weight on just where the beads are. They're usually put too far apart. So you've got a small amount of anchor
that
points.
Waterfall technique that you're talking about.
Yeah, and then you've got the tying technique. So that's two strikes on that one. And then with tape ends, it would be the weight that I would be not happy with on damaged hair. So I agree with you. Whereas with keratin bonds, you can trim those bonds down to halves, fourths, thirds, and have little bitty bonds, very lightweight on the hair. Although here's a weird little situation I've found through the years, that on fine thin hair or even weak hair, full bonds perform better than half bonds or third bonds, because I know it's weird. It's a weird thing to think of.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I understand
So
what you're saying.
What people do is they'll put little bitty bonds on little bitty sections because they think it's going to be less weight on the client's hair. But now they've got this little bitty section of 10 little micro hairs holding the weight of probably 15 or 20 extension hairs. And I would rather go with a full bond and take a little wider and deeper section of the client's hair and connect the 50 hairs to 100 to 150 hairs by getting a little bigger section on the client, and I got a much bigger grouping of the client's hair to support the weight of the extension. Now, the downside is not the downside of using a bigger section, but the downside of somebody with finer, thinner, weaker hair is, compared to society and everybody else's, they just probably have to get their extensions taken out and put back in more often. And that is just a fact. It's not I don't necessarily think it's a good or a bad thing. Unless money and time are your limitations, it's going to cost you a little more time and a little more money because you're going to have to get them removed. But that's the lot you have. You have thinner hair. You want it to look and feel thicker. You get extensions. If you're going to keep it healthy, you need to take it out and put it back in more often than somebody with thick, coarse hair that can handle the weight. Would you agree with that?
I would also agree. So I agree with that. And I'll also add on to that if your hair is damaged, you should be coming in more frequently for maintenance checkups or
Yeah.
redos, or however you want to call them. Well, not redos, but maintenance, move ups, shift ups, or
Clean up.
replacing cleanups, things like that. You should come in more often just to monitor it better, just to keep an eye on it better too. So this way you don't, because some techniques, when you're adding hair extensions, some techniques will put the hair extensions side by side with your natural hair. Some hair extensions will wrap around your natural hair, but there are some techniques that fuse the extensions into your natural hair. So depending on which technique you're going with, you really got to pay attention to how that's either wrapping around or fusing into your natural, to see, is it protecting it? Is it supporting it? Is the hair extension supporting your natural now, or is your natural supporting the hair extension? And if your natural hair is halfway messed up, now it's halfway stressed out. Now it's double stressed out because now it's broken and it's got to hold something up when it's broken.
That's a good point.
The foundation isn't there to support that weight. So it's an additional stress. Great intentions, but it's an additional stress that could literally cause breakage.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. And then as far as where that breakage would be, if it's around the hairline or if it's in the crown, like, is there a difference of saying, oh, then if it's around here, then forget about it, stay away, or if it's over here, stay away? To me, I don't think it necessarily matters, but do you have an opinion on the area of damage, like where it
What
should
I'm
matter or
mostly
not?
thinking of right now is this a topic for now or another video? But are hair extensions damaging? Are they? Because that's what one of the biggest, I don't even want to say lies, because in a lot of cases it's true.
How are hair
But
extensions damaging? Okay, then you know
well,
what? Let's say no. I'll say no. You'll say yes because you hate hair, and
no, they're not damaging. You're not gonna give me an answer. I
you
love
know
hair.
what? Let's surface it right now and go deep dive. Let's do a live about that too at some point.
Right now? Oh, what you meant
I'm
table it.
saying
When you said surface it, you meant table it.
no. Like let's create an argument for it, and then let's go deeper into it on
I
the
don't even
different.
know if there's necessarily an argument, because I think we're probably both going to be on the same side. But when you're talking about that, I was getting ready to make a comment about the damage, and then I thought, you know what? It kind of going back a little bit. Many people, stylists included, that don't do extensions think extensions are damaging. That's why they don't do them. When you poll people like, why don't you do hair extensions? They're damaging. Why don't you get hair extensions? They're damaging. I know some people think too expensive, not my culture,
Oh,
but the damage, what's interesting from the inside, like when you're in the game, you know so much more than the questions that are asked. And when I ask a question, it's the reason you say it's situational. It's like when somebody asks you a question, you think, God, there's not just a yes or no answer. Are extensions damaging? Sometimes, but not most of the time, not if done right. And then doing extensions is not even the big part of the damage. You know what it is? It's sometimes, I like the three-legged stool thing, but even forget that. You can do everything right on your end, and the client can just totally destroy what you do. The client or the
okay,
amusement ride. So
okay.
when extensions are damaging, it can come from so many angles, and so often it's the hairdresser was not trained properly, didn't put them in right. If they're using a good technique, somehow they got the good quality hair, they put them in wrong, and then the client has a bad experience. But you know what most people never talk about? Removal. Most extensions wore very well when they were in, and lazy hairdressers, clients that don't want to let the hairdresser take them out, or they go to a hairdresser that didn't put them in to get them taken out, or they have their husband take them out. My best friend, I had my husband remove my extensions, and now I'm ready for more. But I see some breakage. Well, who said you could let your husband take them out? and it would be okay. Some of the smartest
With a
people.
channel lock or something. It's not even
Yeah,
like a plier or something.
yeah.
It's just some
I saw
insane.
y'all do it. You just use a pair of pliers. So I told him go to the garage, get a pair of pliers, and he could do the same thing. Can he? Can he do the same thing? Because your hair doesn't look like he
He
did the
used a
same thing
monkey
that we
wrench,
do.
you know, or something
And
crazy.
and let's forget about the husbands, hairdressers that put them in. Get lazy, get in a hurry, get impatient, and just really, especially with keratin bonded. And that was the biggest problem with keratin bonded extensions. We still sell more of that than any other technique. And the damage usually comes from I would say most of the time, the hairdresser trying to rush the removal. It takes a little time. It takes a little finesse. You got to do it right. You got to take your time. And if you try to push it, and because you're trying to break the bond up, you're trying to comb the little tangles out, you're trying to separate and get it to slide out. And if you are putting a little stress on the hair, and you decide how much. When you're combing a bunch of little times near the scalp, you can pull too hard. When I'm looking across the
You
salon,
know what?
I used to see heads doing this. I would look across the lawn, and if I saw a head doing this, I knew it was a hairdress. I'm like,
No,
she's
they were
either
listening
got
to
a
good
nerve-
music. You had good music going
Yeah,
on
real.
on the speakers. They're bobbing to the music.
In the back of the head, you got the hairdresser going like this with a comb. And it's like,
Yeah.
I want to, yeah, make a beat along with them. You know, and it's like, I said, hey, that you're damaging that hair. And she's like, wait, what? I said, look at her head. It's moving. The head should not be moving. That's just the first sign that damage is coming.
So then, you know what? Now that you're saying it that way, I think we should do a whole live just for that, to go over the different things, because I want to go so much more deeper into that, but it got nothing to do. Well, it does and it doesn't, right? These are all different things. Like now you start going into scenarios, and
We can
all of
end
these.
this early. We're done with our actual topic for today. We can end now and
Well,
do
wait
that
a
next
minute.
week.
So what did you do? Wait, so then help me remember then. Is there a spot on the head that you should stay away from? Is there a spot of the head that if it gets too damaged, you should stay away from?
I don't understand that question.
Okay. So if damage comes around the hairline, is there a spot?
Mine's are going to be damaged. Are you talking about from color and highlights, or are you talking about from extensions? What do you mean if damage comes?
And then also some people just have like you know, when they're wearing their hair down, they have a full hairline, and then you pull their hair back, and all of a sudden it disappears. Like their hairline doesn't actually start till back here.
Are you just talking about thin hair? Because most people that hair that is damaged,
No, I'm talking about
I find it's most of the head.
people that okay.
Yeah.
So like when they round brush all the time, you know, they're always round brushing
Oh,
forward,
they
and
damage
the
a certain
brush
place.
is ripping up their hair.
Or the hairdresser who highlights and starts in the back all the time and leaves that 40 volume bleach on here until they finish the whole head.
Right, and then you
And
see
then they
like
wait
their
for this
whole.
to turn blonde. And this turned blonde 30 minutes ago, but they're waiting for this to turn blonde while this is turning loose.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So then when they pull their hair
I
back,
see what
all
you're
of this
saying.
is gone, you know, or because they're constantly teasing, or they're constantly, you know, brushing or doing stuff, or this is the stress point because everybody pulls their hair into that high knot,
That
you
too.
know, then
I don't really
all
know
of
how to
this through
answer
here.
that question because I think it's very situational.
Haha. Thank you, Jesse. Today's word brought to you by Jesse. Situational.
Situational and
All right.
lanyard.
Then all right, fine. Then this one's a tough one. Because the answer is yes, on my opinion. You should wear hair extensions if your hair is damaged. Those are good.
Peanut filled pretzels. So addictive.
And hair extensions could protect your hair and help it on its way to recovery for getting better. But at the same time, I guess, depending on the level of damage you have or the type of technique that you have, you might be limited.
And where the damage is. You were
I go
right
back
about
to
that.
my formula then. Yeah, then that's fine. Then we're ending this one early because I've already given my formula, and that's pretty concrete. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. All right.
You don't want to end.
No,
I like
I'm
talking to you too.
just
We're
hyper.
already
I'm so hyper
we're
today.
murdering this topic.
I'm
It's
so
done.
hyper
It's
today.
over.
Let us know your comments, people. Let us know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or do you have a better question? We'll catch y'all next week.